There we are. Hello, I'm not sure if you can hear me. We've been dealing with some technical difficulties today, and I'm hoping that we can get this resolved soon. I'm having multiple things not quite going according to plan, and as you can imagine, it's a little bit frustrating. Lighting, internet connectivity, and so forth. I'm Kristen Culver, and I am the kind of host of our BNI Commerce Connection Wellness Sphere Virtual Speaker Series. And today, it's me. So if anything's going to go wrong, of course, it's happening now. So hopefully you'll be able to watch this on the playback and it'll make a lot more sense. I am broadcasting from my home because we are virtual because of COVID-19. So if I have to broadcast from my desktop instead of something a little more professional like YouTube, I apologize. I will upload a YouTube link later that'll be a little cleaner and easier to follow. So if the screen share works, and you'll know in a minute, you'll get to see a little showcase that I put together for you guys. Full screen here. And I will duck out here in the corner.
I've been a skincare and beauty consultant for almost 9 years. Before that, I was a medical research laboratory technician for almost 10. And I've worked at the American Red Cross, the Boston University Medical Center, among several private research firms. I have a bachelor's degree in biology. It's a Bachelor of Science. I minored in chemistry, and I graduated from St. Lawrence University in class 97.
Kristen, tell us about that.
Well, I have the unique skill set of having been a medical research technician. And you might think, what does that have to do with makeup? It means that I have impeccable sterile technique. And in the time of COVID, I am fastidious about keeping my equipment clean. I wear my lab coat, well, in this case, it's a beauty coat, gloves, face mask. My hair is usually pulled back because who wants their hair in my hair in your face? And I use brushes that I can sanitize or even disposable applicators. I don't touch my clients. Usually we instruct them and we show them. But now, if they need me to actually do their makeup in a more sanitary way, I can gown up like I'm going to the hospital to deliver a baby, and I can bring your face to being what you want it to be for your special occasion.
Wow, and that
I probably would have it as far as Worcester, as far down south as Rhode Island, and up to New Hampshire, although I have family in New Hampshire, so I might be willing to drive up to, I don't know, about midpoint of New Hampshire. It's just between 2 to 3 hours would be maximum driving time because you're going to need time to sit in the chair and get all done up. And if I have to wake up at midnight to come to your house, that could be one heck of a drive.
Right. So again, keep this in mind in terms of
my Mary Kay license, if you will, allows me to sell to anyone in the United States, including Alaska and Hawaii. It might be a little challenging getting things to people on the West Coast, but we have warehouses we can ship our products from if I don't physically have it on site. And as long as I don't take someone away from another consultant, pretty much anyone with a face is fair game.
And by the way, that's men's faces as well as women's faces.
But it actually has multiple steps. So there's an emollient to really give back some of the moisture you might have lost, a scrub to just get rid of the dead stuff, and then a very lightweight but very soothing moisturizer that goes on top. And it lasts through like 15 hand washings. I have several friends who are nurses who can't thank me enough when we shipped cases of hand lotion to them.
Right.
Of protection. 5 commonly areas that we don't remember to cover. When you think about it, it will make sense. Your neck, front, back, the scalp, especially men because they don't have the thinning hair. Ears, for me, it's actually the back of the ear that I tend to forget. Your hands, usually the top of your hands, and that counts to the top of your feet too, as someone reminded me recently. If you're wearing sandals, you get like that weird suntan on your feet. And of course your lips, because Why would you put sunscreen on your lips? It's kind of gross, you know? Whenever possible, I always say if you can't wear sunscreen, try to wear a nice wide brim hat, sunglasses. Physical protection, you really can't go wrong with it. And it'll give you at least something. Ideally, though, you only want to be outside for a little while, and it's hard to do this lecture in glasses. I'm taking these off. But we hope that you understand that you're not trying to hide from the sun forever. You're just trying to not overexpose yourself. There is a difference. I think I've mentioned before that, read them all off, I should have, and I might post that later. Sunscreen versus sunblock. I know I use the terms interchangeably, but the chemist in me would remind you that they are not. They're a little different, actually. First of all, the way I look at it is sunblock. It's a physical product that causes UVA, UVB to bounce off your skin. Think about something like zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. It's opaque, it's kind of whitish or grayish. Maybe from the 1950s beach movies, you see the lifeguard with that stuff slathered on his nose. That's what we're talking about. Real solid protection. Whereas sunscreen is a chemical. Now, don't freak out when you say chemical. I'm just saying it's like it's made of stuff that's man-made, not like of the earth. You can find sunscreen that's natural and organic, but you kind of have to hunt down the particular brands out there that go through the trouble of finding the ingredients and extracting from the plants and the stuff they need to make the sunscreen. But more often than not, you're going to find sunblock in a natural and organic sourced location or store. Now, sunscreen usually is clear. It needs to be reapplied, and it does go into your skin a little, which is why people are concerned for their safety not to wear too much and why ingredients are such a big deal. I can barely pronounce these, so bear with me. Some of the most common ones you'll find are called oxybenzone or octinoxate. Others are octylmethoxycinnamate, octylsalicylate, and octyltrilene and dioxybenzone I'm not going to make it. It's hard to pronounce. It ends in mule. You might notice a trend, and a lot of those had octa or oxy. That has to do with when you're looking at a ring of things and how many things are hanging off of the ring. It usually means there's like 8 reactive groups. That's the octa part. So that means a lot's going on when you think about it. If you're concerned specifically, and I had this question asked to me a few years ago about reef-friendly sunscreen. We're talking about coral reefs in the tropics. They have found that certain ingredients like oxybenzone and octinoxate, also known as mineral oil, petrolatum, they can cause damage and death to the coral reefs. They dry out, turn white, and disintegrate. It's horrible. So if you're snorkeling, do not use that kind of sunscreen. You would want to use one of your more naturally sourced protections, or you would want to really be careful about how long you're spending in the water, snorkeling and taking pictures of beautiful coral reefs. Another thing to keep in mind with a chemical sunscreen, you need to wait 15 to 30 minutes for it to absorb before you really get any protection. So you know they joke about don't go swimming 30 minutes after eating? It's the same rule of thumb. You've got to slap on the sunscreen and not rush right out the door into the sun because you're not going to be protected for those first 30 minutes. It takes a little time. Again, you always need to reapply. It doesn't stay on your skin forever. The general rule has been reapply every 2 hours. You may be more or less frequent depending on the highest rating of SPF that you're wearing. No sunscreen is truly waterproof. You will have to apply it after working out or swimming because your body oils are actually coming out of your pores, diluting it, and kind of washing it off you. Sorry, I know it's gross, but that's your job. Your body is supposed to do this. Oftentimes, folks don't realize that if they're near water and they say, oh my gosh, it's hot, or geez, I always get a better tan when I'm at the pool. It's because 98% of the sun's UV rays reflect back off the water onto you like a mirror. You do not need the aluminum thing to tan your neck with like in the old movies. You can just stand by the water and you're just going to get it reflecting off and hitting that underside, which is again why you got to remember to put sunscreen there because we forget. Definitely make sure you're using reapplying when you're at the pool for that reason. Now, I am going to cover really now is finding team members who are ready to get moving now, who want to be with me on the boat or at least want to make more money for their family, have a flexible side gig that they can work around their day job and their kid's schedule. So if you're hearing this and you know of someone who might be in that possible category,
please introduce them to me. I would love to meet with them. I'm ready to train a crack team of 6 to 8 new team members who are ready to move forward and move up. I have learned so many things in my past 8 years, and I'm willing to pass on every piece of it for free to them, because that's how we do it in Mary Kay. We help each other out. I lift them up, and then when they grow, it inadvertently lifts me up too. That's just the way the business is structured, so that everyone gets the support they need without being overwhelmed or pushed around or bossed. I think that's important to note. They work at their own pace. All I do is give them the tools and help them figure out how to use them. And from there, it's really all on them. But I'm looking for those women and men who are go-getters, who are ready and willing to give this a shot, because I don't know about you, there's worse things they could be selling. Soap is not one of them. That's actually a pretty decent thing to be using and selling and promoting. I like to think I empower people through skincare education, and it's not so much hawking product as it is finding the right fit, troubleshooting, and making someone feel comfortable when they get up in the morning, wash their face, and go out the door, that they're not embarrassed or frustrated with what they're seeing in the mirror or feeling when they're getting dressed. That's so important to me. The self-esteem that I wish I had had more of when I was younger, I have now, and I'm willing to help pour into and share with others the great things I have learned and the great benefits I have deemed from being a small business owner out of my own home, and allowing me to do things like Toastmasters that I love so much, and be able to network and interact with people from all different parts of the state, heck, all different parts of the country. It's been a wonderful trip, and I can't wait to tell you and share with you so much more.
Fundraising to donate 70 skincare sets to the folks at Bethany Hill Place in Framingham. It's a family shelter. I've donated to them before in the fall, some stuff for the holidays, but I thought it'd be nice, since it's been, 6 months, and they're probably running out of the soap I gave them, to give them brand new skincare sets, men, women, and teens. So I'm hoping that people will be willing to donate $50 to sponsor a family member. I'll be matching with my own personal profits. So if I can get about 30 people or so to sponsor a family member, with that and my own money, I can raise the amount I need to purchase 70 sets at wholesale through my Mary Kay business that I can turn around and deliver to Terry over at Bethany Hill Place.
I was diagnosed with cancer at 22 years old and have been in remission for over 20 years. Because of this, I choose to relay for life with the American Cancer Society.
Hi, I'm going to try to record you a tutorial to show you how to take a selfie with your phone. I have no idea if this is going to work. And pardon me if I'm not staring at the camera constantly. I'm still learning. First of all, I have an Android phone. I know you can probably not see that, but Apple might be different. For me, the camera app is right near the top, and you can flip it very readily to selfie mode. And again, the glare, you can't see it. But I set a timer on mine over here in the corner under settings for 2 seconds, just long enough to position my arm. There's also a 5 and a 10-second option. Anyways, that's something I do to give me a chance to get my hand up to a good position, because I have a short arm, and you might find that, oh my God, I always have this fat face when I take a picture because you're holding it down here. More flattering photos are taken from above, so your neck is thin. And what I find is I need a few seconds. I hit the button. If the button's on the side, I can set it that way. I choose not to. And then I want to position it, and I know where my camera is, and I even tell people when I'm taking a selfie, you gotta look in the corner here, that's where the camera is. So I practice looking up and smiling before hitting the button. Then, hopefully you can see this, I get a preview in the corner, and I'm looking, the glare is bad, at the camera, and my neck is nice and thin. The other thing I can do is I can use a selfie stick, but I don't have the one with the plug where you hit the button at the end, so you still have to set the timer. I just set the timer longer. What's nice about that is you can hold it up much further, you can angle the phone this way, and there's a feature on my phone that you may not be aware of called wide selfie. Now, mind you, you hold the phone for this, but it allows you like a picture-in-picture. I don't think you can see it, but you start and you pan across, and it gets the whole room, like when Ellen DeGeneres does it. And I think that's kind of neat, but that's very difficult for me, so I don't do it very often. So the three things are timer, know where your camera is, and practice. Simple as that. Personally, I have felt as a Mary Kay beauty consultant, a business networker, and person active in my community, communication is key in all areas. It's not just speaking well. It's not just sounding intelligent and not getting nervous. It also has to do with understanding that listening is key. That was a lesson I had to learn along the way. Making sure you're engaging your audience, watching for their reaction. Are they getting your message? Not to mention the aspect of leadership I didn't even realize was part of Toastmasters has helped me work better with my team, with my customers, and with my family. I have served as an officer just about every position in both of my clubs, my home and advanced club. I have served the district as an area director, and that was a learning experience. And I've learned that I'll always be nervous, but now the butterflies in my stomach fly in formation, and I'm in much more control when I get up in front of people. And I really have the Toastmasters to thank.
Introduce our topics master, Kristen.
Thanks, Paul. This is probably my favorite part of our meetings. And you can imagine I thrive on the table topics myself, so I was delighted and honored to be asked to host. And believe me, I had a lot of fun looking up some great questions to ask all of you. So we're going to have a good time. I'm going to start with the question, and then I will call up someone so they have a moment or two to gather their thoughts before they speak. If you could stop time for 1 hour, what would you do with it? Michelle? This is a good one. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. That's deep for a fortune cookie. Let me think. Well, I guess when I think of beauty, it's not necessarily external beauty anyway. I'm the type of person who likes to look into the soul of the person I'm dealing with. There's always more to the story than what you see on the outside. Just today, I was coming home on the train, and I was standing, holding the loop, and I saw a very tired-looking woman come in and ask if the seat next to me was open. And it was. I wasn't sitting in it. I was about to get off at the next stop. She sat down and was like, "Oh, thank you." I'm like, I guess you could say I saved it for you. And I just kind of smiled, and she looked up and she went, "I've just had such a rough day." And I looked at her and went, "You know, you deserve a treat. You should go home and soak in the tub or read a good book." She's like, "Yeah, that's a great idea. I was just thinking that myself." I said, "It's a holiday weekend coming up. Don't work too hard. Do something nice." I could tell this woman probably gives her all at her job. I think she had one of those medical tags for the hospital that's in the city. And she probably worked on her feet for hours on end. And that one little token of me giving her that seat was something that she truly thought of as a gift and really appreciated. So I put a smile on her face and I really made her day. So I was able to see that inner beauty in this really hardworking woman who I don't even know. I don't even know her name. But I think that's the kind of beauty that I look for every day in people.
All right, we're back, and hopefully now you can see me and not everything that I was sharing off of my desktop. As I said, this is a learning experience and still trying to figure out how to do it without making a hot mess. I consider myself a jack of all trades, and personally, I did not start out as beauty consultant. As I mentioned earlier, I was a laboratory technician. I even worked as an administrative assistant for many years. So I have all these various skills, I guess you could say, that come in handy. Although I must say they're not the kind of skills that you would normally associate with each other. But I found the culmination of said skills made me a very apt consultant. And I'm not just a beauty consultant. I like to think I'm a consultant on many levels. I help mentor my team as a business consultant. I help my fellow Toastmasters as a senior member of my chapter. I'm an officer. I'm actually currently the president of Power Hour and the VP of membership at Advanced Access. I have been president of that club in the past. I think I've served as an officer almost every year. I've been a member of Toastmasters for the past 6 years, which is probably why I was able to complete my Distinguished Toastmasters Award by June of this past summer, despite COVID-19 and everything else that got thrown at me. It's that discipline and that consistent effort that you put into something when it really matters to you. It was almost like earning an additional educational degree in public speaking and leadership. And I apply those skills as best as I can to everything I do, whether it's teaching my clients, my team members, my fellow B&I members. I get to be the educational coordinator this fall, and I'm really excited about that. I'm looking forward to that. Those who can teach, and you pass it on. And that's been my experience as a consultant. It's been my experience as a volunteer. It's been my experience when I do charity work. When I inspire others to do good, it gets spread even further. More people are doing stuff. Now, I do have color tutorials, and I do have tutorials on how to do Zoom, because I felt it was appropriate. But I've also thought those segments were too long, and I can always attach them in the comments if that's something someone's interested about. But my primary goal is education in skincare. I'm a troubleshooter. I help people find better ways to take care of their skin. I'm not a dermatologist, though. I will refer to one if I feel like it's a situation that needs it. My hope is that people wash their face every day, that they take care of themselves, that they protect themselves from UV radiation so they don't get cancer, and that they love the skin they're in. If they happen to like color products, great, I'll teach you how to put it on. But if you're not happy with what you got going on, I got to do that. That's my job. I want to make sure you're happy with your healthy skin. Then we'll adorn it with something beautiful like an accessory. If you feel like you're having to cover up your face with makeup, I'm a little concerned. That's an image issue. It's also a psychological issue. And we just had a therapist in our virtual series who you could talk to if that's in fact the case. But I will say this, I would rather know that you're taking good basic care of yourself and that in some way I've helped. Even if it's the mother teaching a daughter how to deal with back knee. She plays soccer and maybe her skin is really breaking out like crazy and it's embarrassing to change in the locker room in front of the other girls. Or you have an adult male who's still dealing with acne and is kind of embarrassed. He's like, wait a minute, I thought this was a puberty thing. No, it's not. It can go right into adulthood. Dark circles. I have them all the time. It's just part of my biological makeup. But I can hydrate and brighten them with products that we use. And I can teach others how to do that. I also find that when your skin is healthy, you're more resistant to getting sick, especially now in this world with COVID-19. You want your skin to be elastic, hydrated, and healthy. Less likelihood of it getting cut open, and abrasions cause openings for germs to get in. Now, I know we're wearing masks, so maybe this part of your face is getting a little more wear and tear. We have various creams that are great for soothing and healing damaged and dry skin. If you're breaking out because of the mask, there might be something we can use, like our charcoal treatment that you can put on to help clean the pores and pull out the gook. It depends on what your problem is as to how I will guide you. But my hope is that if I can help you, I will. And if I can't, I will tell you. There have been times when I've actually told someone I don't have a recommendation, or the product they were asking me about isn't really the thing that will help them the most. I talked about on the sunscreen brief clip I showed you earlier that someone was concerned about the coral reefs. And we, unfortunately, our sunscreen still uses certain chemical compounds that are not considered reef friendly. And I sent them to, I think it was Wegmans or Whole Foods to find an organic, made of the earth product that would not damage the coral reefs. And I was okay turning that sale away because that person ended up continuing to shop with me for hand lotion. The person's a friend of mine. He recommends other people to me. He's very supportive. But it was because I was honest with him and admitted him I didn't have the right solution. And I didn't just take his money. That he had more respect for me. And I think that's an important thing as a consultant in general. Hopefully you've enjoyed your time and the little collection of videos. I'm not quite a Renaissance woman. I consider myself more of a jack of all trades. You wouldn't even believe me if I gave you the list of other things I'm capable of and do on the side. But they weren't relevant, so I didn't mention them. You did see briefly in that little mini credits my contact information. I will also put it in the comments below. Looking forward to seeing you next time when we have another member of our wellness sphere present about themselves or a topic of their interest in our virtual speaker series. Thank you again for watching and have a great day.